And then our last testifier, I'm looking for Brad, is going to be via
phone.
phone. So what are we doing?
So Jill, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm taking you off of...
Hi, Jill. Thank you so much. This is Jill Martini, the Assistant
Mariani.
District Attorney, the Office of Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance. Welcome.
Thank you, Senator. And on behalf of the District Attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr., I thank you for inviting my office to testify today at this hearing.
Try that again. You were breaking up. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, maybe I'll speak a little bit slower. On behalf of the District Attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr., I thank you for inviting my office to testify at today's public forum. And I also thank you for making the accommodation for me to testify.
We keep losing you, Jill. It's all broken up. I'm so sorry. We're going to see if we can... We're having like technical problems here in Albany today. Okay.
Well, let me try not moving the speaker. Maybe that'll work.
Can you hear in the audience at all? A little bit. Oh.
Okay, can you hear me now, Senator?
Better. At least
all right. As today's testimony reveals, any effort to revamp the New York sales tax collection requires your examination of automated sales suppression software applied by merchants to underpay state and municipal taxes. While you've heard some of these comments, I think it bears repeating a few things. Merchants who use such software are stealing sales tax collected from their customers. They are stealing revenue from New York State and from New York City. And of course, they're creating an uneven playing field for the business owners. Your victims of this misconduct are your New York taxpayers and the honest New York businessmen and women. In fact, Senator, these victims are your constituents. Tax evasion through the application of automated sales suppression software occurs throughout the nation. In my last count, at least 25 other states have passed statutes outlawing automated sales suppression software. My office urges New York state legislators to follow suit and pass reform measures that give prosecutors stronger tools to deter and appropriately punish those who evade taxes through these methods, and of course to guarantee an equitable playing field for the honest merchant. As you know, in May of 2015, my office released a grand jury report that revealed tax evasion by merchants in New York County perpetrated through various forms of automated sales suppression software. In that report, the grand jury made 2 recommendations warranting legislative action. Since you have that report, I'm not going to go into details now. But what I will do is describe actions taken by my office in response to the grand jury's recommendations and supplement facts gathered since the report was issued almost a year ago. In the first recommendation, the grand jury urged the legislature to impose felony charges and monetary penalties on individuals who evade taxes by falsifying electronic data through the application of automated sales suppression software. There were 4 legislative proposals to advance that recommendation, and I'm just going to briefly comment on each. The first legislative proposal calls for a statute making it a felony offense, and I'm going to quote from the report here, to manufacture, create, sell, buy, possess, install, maintain, enhance, or use, end of quote, any software for the purpose of evading the accurate determination and payment of taxes, and importantly, the attempt to do so. The grand jury required that such offense apply to all taxes, and that should be whether it's sales tax, personal income tax, corporate tax, withholding tax, city municipal taxes, and to all software, no matter what form they're in. And as you've heard, sometimes they're embedded in the hardware, sometimes they're maintained on an external device, or they can be accessed remotely through the internet or other means. Now, in response, my office has drafted language creating the crime entitled defrauding the government in the first degree as a new section of the penal law.
Try to speak up a little more.
Our submission also includes, as an alternative approach, adding the new offense to both the tax law and the New York City Administrative Code. But I'll tell you, Senator, without this amendment, persons who facilitate this conduct, and by that includes the installers, the manufacturers, and the like, elude prosecution. Senator Krueger, you were the first among the legislators, I think, in New York State, perhaps in the nation, to recognize the need for legislation outlawing such conduct. However, now we find ourselves a half a decade later, and New York does not have a criminal statute that squarely addresses this method of evasion. In stark contrast, as I noted earlier, at least half of the states have passed laws banning such software. The most recent statute I have uncovered is South Dakota in March of this year. And there's at least 2 other states considering this legislation. It's time for New York to do the same. The grand jury's second legislative proposal requested the creation of a felony-level conspiracy crime for those who collude with merchants to defraud the government of taxes through the application of the automated sales suppression software. In response, my office has proposed language amending the offense of conspiracy in the 4th degree, as it's contained in the penal law, to subject software providers and others who scheme with the cheating merchants to such augmented treatment. The grand jury's third legislative proposal invited New York lawmakers to amend the offense of criminal tax fraud in the tax law, as well as the offense of city criminal tax fraud in the New York City Administrative Code to include a new tax fraud act targeting those who evade taxes by means of automated sales suppression devices. Accordingly, my office has proposed a 9th tax fraud act, which pertains to any conduct involving the use of an automated sales suppression device.
Jill, I'm going to probably just cut you off because we really can't clearly understand you. I want to thank you. We will follow up. I know we've been having conversations with your office around this. I've given out the draft bill we've been working on to people who are here today. We look forward to their input. I want to, even though I'm cutting you off because I don't think anyone here actually can hear you. Our guests from Quebec thought they would have a language problem, but not as much as, unfortunately, phone service from New York City to Albany. That the Vance's office has been very involved in this, and we, based on your office's experience litigating vendors who were using tax suppression software. So I want to, again, thank Cyrus Vance for the work he's doing on this. Yourself and others in your office who have made a series of recommendations to the legislature, done excellent research on laws that have been moving or changed in other states regarding prohibition of sales suppression devices. And to commit to you and to everyone that I am here in the legislature, I'm going to go forward with introducing legislation around the specific sales suppression violation. So if you're still listening,
Thank you, Senator. Well, I can submit my comments in writing to you.
yes, that would be great. And again, I apologize that we have so much trouble hearing you. And we'll make sure to provide your written comments with everyone else's submitted testimony online so that people here or people who check in later will have that information. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.